For my practice today, I'm looking at Circusdom March by Jewell. It's a nice march. It is definitely a circus march in flavor, probably not in tempo. There are some very fast triplets in the trio near the end that would limit the tempo, I think, to about 120, but depending on what the band director conducts, that's the tempo you'll need to play. However, the flavor is the most important part about this, so you pay a lot of attention to accents, and you want to play it very steadily at whatever tempo you play. I think in the first strain, right off the bat, you have that flavor I was talking about before. It throws an accidental in that you don't expect, and to me it just sounds kind of circusy. Where you're playing now in the key of E-flat concert. We have this figure. That was a surprise for my ears and for my fingers the first time I read through this march, but I think it does set the flavor, as I mentioned before. There are a couple tricky places to watch out for. When you go into the second strain, you've got to be ready for a high B-flat concert or a C in the treble clef right away. There is an optional down an octave part, which you could play for 3 notes, but I prefer to try it in the high range. You've got a measure of rest before you have to play that. Once again, I'll emphasize, pay attention to the accents. In that first strain, those surprise accidentals I talked about are accented, so it really is shoving them down our throats, kind of. It's not this, but it is this. There's also accents later that you want to pay attention to. Right there. And when we have the more pleasant sounding notes in the same rhythm as we had before where the accidentals were, there again is the accent on the half note. Of those 2 quarters, the second one was accented. So you want to make sure to differentiate your accented from non-accented notes. It's especially important in marches, although we should never ignore that. As we move to the trio, we have the expected key change. There is no 4-bar introduction to the trio. It just starts right on it with some nice running notes in our part. They're mezzo forte the first time, fortissimo the second time. You'll need to practice them both ways. I find that when I'm tonguing, if I'm single tonguing especially, which I can do at this tempo, when I single tongue at mezzo forte, it's a different proposition from single tonguing at fortissimo. You're using a lot more air pressure at fortissimo, and the tongue has to work a little harder, so be sure to practice it both ways. Then we have a nice little running line in 8th notes that should be very smooth and even. We get to that triplet part I talked about before. I'll play this in slow motion, 2 bars ahead of the triplet. As I said before, if you have your metronome at 160, that's going to be a challenge. As I've been trying to do in this March series I've done on YouTube, I'll leave a link in the YouTube description so you can download the march yourself in a PDF format, print it, and give it a try. I think you'll enjoy it, and in any case, as I've said many times, marches are great practice. You'll get some technique, you'll get some style, you get some endurance challenges as well, because there's a lot of measures of playing without many measures of rest. So give this one a try. I think you'll enjoy it.